Niall Breslin, obviously best known to many as Bressie, who is promoting his latest record called A Place That Has Never Been Wounded. It's been described as spacious, introspective and deeply personal, and he'll be bringing it into a live setting with a show at Glór next month on the 23rd of April, to be precise. And as I say, delighted to be joined by Bressie. How are things with you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Very well. Thanks for having a chat with us. And the new record, it's quite a departure from what people would best know you for. Very kind of stripped back, atmospheric, piano-led record. What inspired that shift?
That's kind of where I came from. My mother's a kind of classically trained pianist and violin teacher. And when I was younger, when my grandfather died, Bumper, he gave me his piano in his will. He must have seen something in me when I was a kid, and that was where I learned everything about music. My entire education was on a piano. And over the years, I suppose I would have wrote a lot of my music on the piano, even though it was guitar music. And then I wanted to come back to it. I suppose I was a little bit insecure about coming back to it because some of the artists that I love, the Max Richters and the, Olafur Arnolds, people like that, I was like, can I do this? And over kind of COVID, I just started to write. And yeah, I was like, I want to put a record out and come back to what I know, I suppose.
Yeah, and that actually, Max Richter was, when I heard the record, was the first name that popped into my head. It's definitely within that realm. As you said there, though, you had that kind of thought of, should I be going in this direction? But is it very satisfying to have done it and kind of come up with your own version of that unique sound? And you also did it quite quickly as well. Some albums can take weeks, months, so for some bands even years to record. This was done over just 5 days.
Yeah, my overthinking days, hopefully, when it comes to music, are moving on. I think when you're younger and you're in a band, you keep trying to second guess everything. And, are the label going to like it? Are the audience going to like it? And you spend most of your time worrying about that stuff rather than, creating something that you like and that means something to you. And that's the one learning I got. I'm in this industry 25 years, and you can bend to other people's perceptions, or you can actually create something that you believe in. And that's what I did. And that's why it took very little time. We just went in, we knew exactly what we wanted to do. And even from that, I've already started working on new material and stuff. And that's the approach I take. If it's right, it's right. And, for somebody can be immensely critical on himself and overanalyze everything, including every thought I've ever had, sometimes getting out your own way is the single best thing you can do for creativity.
And in terms of the speed of creating the record, Bressie, how much of the material did you have kernels of going in or fully completed, or was the whole thing, was it an experiment all written and recorded within the studio in that tight time frame?
No, I kind of had the ideas, I had the concept, and I had the tracks to a point, but then I didn't, you always have to give the people you're working with space to bring something to the table as well. Where they're like, what are you hearing here? What's this making you feel like? And the thing about the music is it comes to one thing and one thing only. We said, does it make you feel something? And if it doesn't, then we moved on from it. And that was the approach. And even now, the approach I'm taking is that it's and it doesn't have to be necessarily a positive emotion. It can be a difficult one, whatever it is, the full spectrum of emotions humans deal with every single day. That's the idea with the album, and even the concept of the album. I think so much in the wellness space is about what we don't have and what we need to be more of and what we need to do more of. And I think to myself, how much more can we all do? Maybe we should recognize the part of us that holds us steady when the world is shaken. And the world has been shaken pretty hard for the last number of years. So I think that's what this album's about. It's that tribute to that part of us rather than the part that, people keep telling us we need to do more on. And in the words of Elton John, as I said, if you're still standing after the chaos we've been served, maybe you're a little tougher than you think you are.
You've described the record, obviously instrumentals as exploring things you can't put into words. And I suppose with instrumentals, at least, sometimes artists can struggle with a particular song coming up with an appropriate theme for lyrics, or it saves that problem. But then I guess on the flip side, it puts the focus onto the music carrying the emotion or the feeling, as opposed to either the music and the lyrics or predominantly the lyrics doing that. How not having the lyrics, having the lyric side of it removed, did that place extra importance for you, or extra pressure or emphasis on ensuring the music carried what it is you wanted the listener to feel or to take from it?
Well, it's a concept album, so I wasn't massively worried about lyrics. I think the concept was each track over the 14 tracks guides you to that place within yourself that's never been wounded. That's the kind of the idea with the titles. And the really important thing with music as well is people will take what they need from it. You know, when you overtell people what this is about, it doesn't leave much space for them to decide, this is what I feel when I listen to this. And that's what I wanted to do with this. It's what does it release in you? Or, you know, and that's the general theme we get from the live shows is people come up to us and say, it released something in me I didn't realize I was holding on to. And it mightn't have been heavy. It just might have been that, you know, I often joke. I sometimes say to people, does anyone know what it feels like to be calm anymore? You know, that's the modern culture we've created. This hyper-vigilant, you know, front row seat of genocides and wars and all the stuff that comes with that. And, you know, in the midst of it, one of the quotes that I used in the album was this Krishnamurti quote, it's no measure of sanity to be well adjusted to an insane world. And when people come to the shows, it's 90 minutes of not that. It's the opposite of that. It's an escape. And it's an acknowledgement that if you are feeling a little overwhelmed by the world, good, you should be. So am I. But this space is a space to get away from that for a period of time.
Has this whole process, Bressie, been immensely satisfying for you, creating and putting out the place that has never been wounded, performing it in a live setting, having the audiences respond positively to the shows, to the record, and just pulling off something that perhaps people didn't expect from you, and, you know, proving you can't be pigeonholed? Yeah,
I know everyone, when they put out albums and they put out new material, to say this is the thing I'm most proud of. It's definitely the thing that's challenged me the most. It's, you know, I've been in bands for years and I've released solo music for years, and I loved it and I love being part of a band. But I think this for me was it's not even that, it's that the deeply personal element of it, and some of the pieces in it are immensely personal. But you know, I think it is what I've created is something that I was so nervous about doing for so many years, because I was like, this could be a disaster. Like, and if you put it out and people are like, what's this guy doing? And these are the things a lot of creatives actually deal with, and most people deal with if they're honest. It's not even an imposter syndrome. It's just, there's an insecurity to it. And like in the past, I wouldn't have went near that. I would have just went, no, I'm not going to challenge this. And that's not what I do anymore. I just go over it. And I don't know if that's age. I'm 45 now. Like when I was in my 20s, I wasn't thinking like that. So there's probably a bit of age to it. But this type of music is designed, it is genuinely designed to make people realize that there is a part of them, and I believe it's in every single person on this planet, there is a part of them that knows exactly what to do. And, you know, when we keep going on our TikTok and Instagram and we see some guy telling us he's done 3 days work before 8 a.m. in the morning, and now he's gone to the gym 40 times today, and if you're not doing it, you're not hustling enough. That mentality is making us feel lonely and deeply individualistic. And one thing I've learned with this type of music, it brings people together. And that's what's missing, I think, is community, connection, collectivism, and not this, you know, every person for themselves agenda, individualism that we see so much in social media.
Yeah, certainly. Having listened to it, it can bring that sense of calm to what is a chaotic, noisy world that we live in these days. The album is called The Place That Has Never Been Wounded. You can see Bressie at Glór on Thursday, the 23rd of April. Bressie, thanks for having a chat with us. Congratulations on the record. We're going to play the Creedence Frequency now, and thanks for being with us.
Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for the support.
That's Bressie there, and from The Place That Has Never Been Wounded, this is the Creedence Frequency.